Thousands rallied in Kiev urging Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to veto a bill critics say could cripple Ukraine's anti-corruption infrastructure.
Metal legend Ozzy Osbourne has died at the age of 76, weeks after his farewell concert at the Black Sabbath reunion.
Thousands rallied in Kiev on Tuesday, urging Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to veto a bill critics say would cripple Ukraine's anti-corruption infrastructure. The parliament had passed a controversial bill tightening oversight of two key anti-corruption bodies. Critics warned the measure could weaken the independence of the agencies and increase political influence over investigations. Despite public outcry, Zelensky reportedly signed the bill into law.
Ми повинні робити все, щоб наша Україна була ціла і вільна, і незалежна. І ми повинні підтримувати військо всіма методами, а це один з них. Об'єднуватися і боротися проти корупції. І безпосередньо це великий важіль, завдяки якому Європа підтримуватиме нас.
Transparency International criticised the news, saying it undermines past reform and damages trust with international partners.
Важливо боротися з корупцією, щоб більше грошей йшло на ЗСУ, на нашу армію. Чим більше буде ефективно держава використовувати наші ресурси і буде менше корупції, тим більше ми можемо направляти ресурси на наш захист і на нашу боротьбу.
Натомість ми бачимо, як президент України замість того, щоб бути прикладом, бути локомотивом цієї історії боротьби і демонструвати нульову толерантність до корупції, зараз використовує свій владний ресурс для того, щоб взяти контроль над кримінальними провадженнями свого оточення.
Fighting corruption is a key condition for Ukraine's bid to join the European Union and to secure continued Western support as it defends against Russia's ongoing full-scale invasion.
Russian forces launched a wave of drone and missile attacks on Ukrainian cities overnight, killing one and injuring dozens. In Kramatorsk, a 10-year-old boy was killed and at least 8 injured after a Russian FAB-250 aerial bomb struck a residential building. Drone strikes damaged garages, houses, vehicles, and an industrial area in the city. In Odessa, Russian forces targeted the city with more than 10 drones. Civilian infrastructure, including a car park, a gym, a bank, and a residential building, were damaged in the attack. Late on Monday, a Russian attack on the northeastern city of Sumy injured 12 as it struck residential buildings. In one part of the city, 5 apartment blocks and 18 vehicles parked near the buildings were damaged in the blast. Russia's overnight attacks come as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Monday evening that there would be another round of talks between Russia and Ukraine scheduled for Wednesday. So far, talks between Russia and Ukraine have resulted in large-scale prisoner swaps, but no concrete steps to end the war.
Russian lawmakers have voted to approve legislation introducing fines for searching for extremist content online, as well as penalties for advertising and using VPN products. The so-called extremist content includes political slogans, books, music albums, and artworks. Russians will now face fines if they're found to have deliberately searched for material listed as extremist by the Justice Ministry. Moscow residents expressed confusion over the proposed measures.
Для меня, как для молодежи, это прям немножко непонятное движение, как и большинство принимаемых движений за последние несколько лет, поскольку, а смысл нас как-то ограничивать, все равно всегда будут находиться какие-то точки обхода и так далее. И опять же таки, странно очень в современном мире как-то ограничивать человека в его информации.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has instructed the government to propose additional restrictions on software use in Russia, specifically targeting services developed in what Moscow terms unfriendly states.
Это YouTube. Это вражеская платформа. Там всех наших забанили людей. Как говорится, идеология отмены. Кто не то говорит, того нет.
Russia has tightened control over the internet since launching its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, seeking to curb access to information and limit foreign influence. Central European Petroleum has announced the discovery of Poland's largest oil deposit in a decade, located off the country's Baltic Sea coast. Preliminary figures suggest the site contains 22 million tons of crude oil, along with 5 billion cubic meters of commercial-grade natural gas. That would more than double Poland's current estimated oil reserves, which stood at around 20.2 million tons in 2023. The find could play a key role in reducing Poland's dependence on imported fossil fuels, particularly as the country looks to strengthen its energy autonomy. Nevertheless, experts told Euronews the discovery will not shake up the European energy balance, although it will likely fuel investment into oil discovery in the Baltic Sea.
The World Health Organization has condemned what it called a blatant attack on its facilities and staff in the central city of Deir el-Balah in Gaza. The organization says Israeli forces attacked its main warehouse and the residences of staff, causing extensive damage. It added that its response capabilities to humanitarian crises were also severely reduced. The warehouse, storing everything from medical supplies to clothing, was bombed in the early hours of Tuesday and then looted by desperate locals, according to the WHO. The staff residents and the families living there were subjected to 3 separate attacks, one which caused a fire as well as structural damage to the building. Israeli forces stormed the building during the shelling, forcing women and children to leave on foot towards Al-Mawasi, which Israel designated a safe haven on Sunday. It comes as Israel carries out what it described as a major ground operation in the city. It's the first time the IDF conducts an operation on the central city, noting previously that they've avoided it as they believe Hamas may be harboring hostages there. Deir el-Balah is one of the last remaining areas in the enclave to still be standing, having suffered minimal damage so far in Israel's 21-month offensive. Dozens were killed in Israeli attacks on the city in the past 48 hours, and hundreds of thousands were forcibly displaced.
Heavy metal legend Ozzy Osbourne has died at the age of 76, just weeks after his farewell concert at the Black Sabbath reunion in Birmingham. Osbourne was the lead singer of Black Sabbath, a band that redefined 20th century music with songs like Paranoid, Iron Man and War Pigs.
The Prince of Darkness, he was an institution, the founder of heavy metal in my opinion. He introduced it to me as a teenager, so it's a sad day, and I had the honor of meeting the family as well. I'm very sad for Sharon and the family.
Osbourne's fame expanded into the mainstream in the early 2000s when he joined his wife Sharon Osbourne and 2 of their children in the MTV reality TV show, The Osbournes.
Not only was it one of the first of its kind, it kind of pioneered the genre, in my opinion. You know, it was before social media, so like the access we had to celebrities and people like Ozzy Osbourne was very limited.
We had no idea what we were getting. We thought it was just going to be an extension of Cribs. And so when it came out, we were all absolutely flabbergasted at the response.
Osbourne's family announced his death in a statement, saying he passed away peacefully. In 2020, the singer had announced he had Parkinson's disease after suffering a fall.
The fate of migrants and their families in Belgium is decided in this highly administrative building. Last week, members of parliament passed a government bill restricting access to family reunification. This scheme enables foreign nationals with a legal residence permit to bring in 1 or more family members. From now on, refugees will only have 6 months to submit their applications. Beneficiaries of subsidiary protection will have to wait 2 years. The minimum income required to apply has also been increased.
If someone wants to bring over their partner and 2 kids, that person has to earn 2,700 net income per month, which is a huge amount. And I would say that the average employer in Belgium does not even earn that much.
The Minister for Asylum and Migration is defending these measures because she believes in the need to reduce the influx of migrants. NGOs argue that these new rules are a disguised way of making family reunification impossible and risk plunging migrants into an even more dangerous situation.
The consequences for refugees in Belgium will be a prolonged separation of their families, having an impact on their integration and inclusion in Belgian society. It is difficult to learn the language if you're preoccupied with your partner in Afghanistan, for example. And then for refugees in the countries of origin, whereas previously they could use this safe and legal pathway to come to Belgium, this is no longer available. So they will turn to human smugglers to come to Europe, to Belgium.
Belgium's case is not isolated. Last week, Portugal also adopted more stringent measures for granting family reunification. In Germany, lawmakers approved the suspension of the scheme for people who do not have refugee status last month. Austria has also suspended the scheme for a period of 6 months.